Left-Wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
Welcome to the Left-Wing Kingz podcast. Today we're talking about Donald Trump hating on Taylor Swift, evangelicals losing their credibility, and the Nicki Minaj Megan Thee Stallion beef. I am your head moderator in charge of HMIC Malik, and I'm joined today by my queen, Walanda.
What up?
And King Ace.
What up, what up, what up?
Let's get it cracking, people.
Let's go.
Taylor Swift has become a target for the right-wing conspiracy theories. Some of these theories are more outlandish than others, but they all share a common theme. She ain't a Trumpster. Okay. Ace, can you tell us, why does Trump hate Swiftie?
Because she got power, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got a following. I mean, a real following. I mean, she's loved, not only in America but throughout the world. So I mean, she poses a threat. And if you're a threat to Donald Trump, he's gonna come at you. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna come every way he can. I mean, they're coming up with these little crazy conspiracy theories, and Kansas City gonna win the Super Bowl, and you know what I'm saying? Shoot, it's just nuts, man. I mean, but that's the reason why, because she's a prominent threat. She influences a demographic, man, that could, sway the election, which is, young voters, especially young, white, female, suburban moms. I mean, think about it. Taylor Swift is, how old is she? In her 30s?
34.
34?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those are young mothers now, suburban mothers,
No
you know
doubt.
what I mean? And those are people that can go out and vote, and they're gonna decide what's going on with this nation. So she's a threat. That's the reason he's coming at as hard as he is.
Right. Definitely got to get power of influence. Okay, it shapes the ability and your opinions. And what they were talking about, it's called micro targeting. So basically, it uses consumer data, right, and their demographics to identify their interests. And so with her, they're noticing that if she goes on and says something about, go, voting's important. Go
Yep.
rally around, make sure that you're registered. What happens is the registration went up about 40%.
35,000.
Right. So you got to understand her
Yeah.
power to influence is there. Also, when you're talking about the age limit, 60% are female, which is our followers are about 18 to 24 in that age group. And then 39% of her followers are from 40 to 49. So she's hitting the millennials, the Gen Xers. She's had quite a bit of a population, and access to data scares Trump, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it should. Because if you look at they were talking about in Obama when Oprah started supporting Obama, what that did for him. So people who have the power to influence, it does influence elections, and Trump is very much aware of that. So he's looking at that, trying to see if Taylor will go on and say something about Biden, of course, specifically, and then seeing those people rally behind her for him. So he knows that there's some problems there.
Yeah, this election falls into the independent voter, and she's going to affect that a lot, I think. Girl sells millions, maybe even billions of records around the world. She's got people that have been loyal to her for decades.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So very influential. So yeah, I mean, it's a problem for him. But in Trump form, the way he handles it, he goes after and attacks. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to talk maybe towards some of the policies that she's going to affect, and some of the reasons why she's not voting for him, which is like abortion and things of that nature, things that are important to that electorate. She's addressing the things that he's not good at, and he don't like that at all. But he's going to make it into some kind of circus event instead of just trying to talk on the politics.
Exactly. Go ahead. Well, just said that 18% of voters say they're more likely to vote, or significantly more likely to vote, if Swift endorses Biden. So her just saying, yeah, I'm going to vote for him will potentially impact 20% more people. So that's crazy that she just, from words, as far as how she feels about something, her power that she has over influences these young voters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy how all of these conspiracies are happening right now behind, Taylor Swift. The right-wing media is saying that, like you said, Kansas City's gonna win the Super Bowl just because that's her boyfriend. Like the other team, like San Francisco ain't gonna go out there and try. They just got a part of the master plan to get beat for the Super Bowl and give up all
it's always, let me come out with some nonsense or let me green light you on something, and then they just jump on board and believe it. Because it's not like he's gonna come out and try to go to a debate or attack somebody or talk policy with anybody. What he's gonna do, he's gonna come up with some crazy theory or some kind of made up lie and then just roll on that, and then these people just jump behind it and support the lie. Like, it's almost like, and I always say, because I got a couple of friends that, believe it or not, are Trump supporters, but it's more important for them to be right than for the idea to be right. Like, I'm right, you know what I'm saying? But even though what they're talking about is wrong as hell, you know what I'm saying? So he comes up with a lie, and sometimes I think they disagree with it, but they'll still go with it for the simple fact that they're trying to, they don't want to say they don't support Trump. They're just riding that train all the way out. Like, that's just a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because look, if that's the case, I'm calling Vegas. I'm calling my bookie right now, and I'm putting my money on Kansas City because we already know who's going to win. You know what I'm saying? So Vegas, you're gonna close down, man. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, like, I forgot the last president that went to the Super Bowl and got football fans to, swing the vote. You know what I'm saying? Like, Obama was just out there campaigning,
right?
At the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because football players just vote like that. They're just that strong on the, electing the president. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's the whole,
we can't
shut up and dribble.
We can't even agree on we can't even agree on who's the best team and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, how we gonna agree on who's president? You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's funny because I went research and I was trying to say, is there a phrase that actually is termed for that? And there is. It says it's the continued influence effect of misinformation. So they're actually now they're doing research to understand the Trump supporter.
Yeah, misinformation campaign.
Right. So it says false information continues to influence memory and reasoning even after credible connections. So the more you're fed misinformation for whatever, you are now training your brain to believe that it's true. And now it has a term, continued influence effect. So actually, it is now it's being researched.
Wow.
So maybe again, kind of almost like, I guess, being addicted to cigarettes or alcohol, you're now addicted to literally misinformation, and your brain is trained to believe that whatever this particular influencer of yours, that you're going to believe that over even after being corrected about the credible information. If that makes sense, on there. So there's actually experiments. Now, findings does suggest that people do use political figures as a heuristic to guide evaluation of what is true or false. So that would hold true for somebody who's heavily into Republican and Democrat. So it's not just for Trump supporters.
Oh yeah,
is what I'm saying. But I found that information very interesting.
There's a lot of misinformation out there. That's just the name of the game now, especially with social media, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, but but the Trump supporter on a lot of things, it's like January 6th. Ain't no misinformation. You saw that. It's right there. You know what I'm saying? But they've gotten into the rut of whatever he says or whatever his camp says, they're gonna believe that swing. Like, it's nothing to believe. You saw it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. So I mean, that's just, it's just crazy how that happens. And even with this Taylor Swift thing, they're going to just come out and say something, and all of a sudden, that's the narrative they're going to start preaching. It's the same narrative that's coming out of the Trump camp, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how the science that they're starting to look at behind this. Like you said, you can see it with your own eyes, but if he says it ain't true, then you just believe it. So I know you said it's like it's not only Trump supporters, but it's also Democrats or whatever. But if you're a Trump supporter, you better watch your ass, because they about to, gather you bastards up, put you in a room and start poking and prodding your ass, asking you questions, trying to figure out why you so dumb. But I digress. Basically, when we look at these conspiracy theories and the challenges that they're bringing up, they're really going all in. Like the right-wing media, Trump, they're all pushing this narrative that, this is all a setup. Yeah. Do you think that Biden might say, you know what, I can't feed the beast, so I'm not gonna, really talk about this endorsement? Like, do you think it's like a plot to get him to say, like, hey, I'm not gonna leverage her endorsement now? And could that hurt him?
I mean, I think, in back of somebody's mind, they're trying to, Jedi mind trick him into doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Biden's gonna do that, man. I think he's gonna, he's he's gonna do what he always does. He's gonna just let it ride how it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I think that down the way, it's kind of a plot to, hey, let me get him to kind of jump on board and maybe even somehow denounce it or talk towards it and give us some more leverage to work toward it. I mean, the right wing, the extreme right wing is crazy, man. They think all kinds of stuff. They on the dark web and doing all kinds of stuff and making up all kinds of lies and just doing crazy stuff. When honestly, just run on the facts and let's see who wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop coming up with all this craziness, and this Taylor Swift situation is just a new part of that attack. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. But I do think that if Swift comes and openly embraces Biden, he's not going to shy away from that. Just like Oprah openly embraced Obama. Of course, he went like, Oprah, please go sit down. I mean, he's not going to do that, because he knows the power behind our little Swiftie plan. So I do think if she comes out and just really starts riding for Biden, I think he's going to take consideration of using that to his advantage, because he knows that's a very strong base. I mean, you're looking at most females, 60%, which we are majority of the population itself, and in that young crowd, trying to get them out there and motivate them to get registered to vote. So I think she's powerful.
You're
for
talking
him.
about under 35. You're talking about, and even 40-year-olds. You're talking about people, homeowners, and people beginning their careers, and people that they're looking at the next 20 years and how that's going to look. I mean, seriously, know. So no, it's like I said, once again, Trump's on that because that's a definite threat for him. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Like, and I mean, so yeah, she's a problem. Taylor Swift's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I do know that she's a problem, but it's not a problem for you to click that like button. Okay.
Yeah,
and also,
we practice this. We don't.
You got to subscribe if you want to see more common sense conversations like this on Left-Wing Kingz. And don't forget, thanks, Tina, share this video, damn it. All right. So she's a celebrity, big time celebrity, like one of the biggest pop stars out there. And I will say that celebrity endorsements happen all the time for Trump, for Biden, for whoever. Right. So I know we touched a little bit about Taylor Swift being influential, but why is he so obsessed with focusing on her when she's just one of many celebrities out there making an endorsement? I mean, there's other powerful women out there who are white, 34-year-old. Why does he hate her so much?
I mean, first, Taylor Swift was a country star, right? When she first started off, she became a pop star when she crossed over. I mean, she reeks. I mean, she looks like somebody who should be on Fox News 24/7, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. And then she's with Travis Kelce, which is with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's football. I mean, it's basically going back to head cheerleader, captain of the football team-esque. They should be all-American conservative, Republican on, like I said, Fox News all the time, endorsing them, hand and fist with Trump. He's lifting his hands.
That's
up
the image,
Colorado.
That's what they look like.
And she's not that. But she also influences people that fit into that stream also. Look, like, hands down, like, and I think when you start talking about the politics of it and how it is, and even if you listen to her politics, because she actually has some real strong political views, and hands down, like, it's still abortion that's going to be the problem. You know what I'm saying? So they're not able to segue from that. They're not able to kind of get away with that. If Taylor Swift, one of the biggest stars, is like saying, hey, look, this is why I don't like Trump. And one of the biggest reasons because what he did to abortion, putting all these chief justices on the Supreme Court, and they got rid of Roe versus Wade. That's really his biggest problem. But it doesn't help that he got probably the most popular pop star in the world behind that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just better hope Beyonce don't jump on. He's really in trouble.
Exactly. She coming next. The power of influence. Once again, in her words, the best quote that she said too. She's like, "I want to be on the right side of history."
Right side of history.
That's impactful for people. Because nobody want to be on the wrong side. Because
that's a couple of them.
Right. Well, yeah. I guess they still riding with that, but you know what I mean. Like on the long term, I mean that's impactful for a lot of people. They know I want to do the right thing. Again, if you're talking about, we'll talk about in a moment, our evangelicals and Christian views. They're like, I got to do right. I got to be good. And she's telling me this is what good is, And again, that power to influence and guide them in their opinions and through communication. I mean, she's powerful. Right now, everybody's talking about Swiftie. We talk about her when we're watching the football game. Well, the media does. I mean, so we see that she's getting a lot of attention. She is a young billionaire, so there are other billionaires out there, but I think people, for whatever reason, feel they can relate to her. And then her age, I think, is impactful, that she is so young.
They talking about changing the Kansas City Chiefs to Kansas City Swifties. That's how bad it is. They got Swiftie.
They have
They got
like
Swiftie
shirts and
jerseys, dog.
Wow.
Like it's serious,
it's
man.
serious.
Could you imagine? You know, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs got to be happy as hell.
Oh, he's
man.
making so much loot.
He's probably making so much money off this, man. You know,
but the NFL, they got that sharing right in the contract. So the the Players Association, so they happy too.
Everybody happy though. Kelsey happy. His mama's happy.
Everybody's benefiting.
His brother's happy. Brother doing the thing with the
only
shirt
one
off.
not benefited is Trump.
Yeah.
That's
so
why he's mad.
Well, hey, I mean, you just talked about the media, right? And I'm sorry, man. Right-wing media. I know people gonna talk stuff about the left-wing media, right-wing, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna put all that to rest here because the conservative media will say and do anything. Like, how far are they willing to go to be in Trump's good graces?
I mean, how far will they go? I mean, and it falls back onto the Republican Party, and why I say that is because the Republican Party's main focus has been win at any cost, and the problem of that is, like, you know, they've really forgotten like what politics is really about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always we go back to like the Reagan era or whatever, but back it used to be a time where Republicans and Democrats disagreed, but they came to a happy medium and they made things work. That's called governing. Now it's all about, like, you know, even currently, and like I said, I don't want to get on another topic. Every time you turn on TV, they taking somebody, they're trying to impeach somebody. They impeaching people that I didn't know you can impeach.
Right.
Like, I thought that was just for the president, but no, they try to impeach anybody. Just so they can have that language around because Trump's been impeached before. You see what I'm saying? It's pretty much like it's not about the good of the people. It's about them just winning, and it's just about them having power. Well, part of that is they have a media outlet that enforces that, and they're not concerned on telling us the truth or talking facts. They're concerned on, let's just spin how we look good, and let's just appeal to the people who are going to believe that. And that's sad. It's people right now that are going to look and see the Taylor Swift thing, and they're going to believe everything that's coming out of the right-wing media, Newsmax and all of that. And you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh yeah, man, the Super Bowl's rigged. Really? You know what I'm saying? Oh, like the election was rigged too. But I'm going to run for re-election. Like, what are you talking about? That don't even make no sense.
Can we rig it again then?
Yeah. Hey, man.
Rig number 2.
Especially because you have found no fraud. Like, there's no evidence of fraud, but you're just going to keep running, even though you can't figure out how you lost.
Yeah. I mean,
you got cheated.
And if you win, was it right? Like, I don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Did you rig this time?
Did you rig it this time? Like it's just, but then they fall into that trap of just believing everything that comes out of there and just not making, using common sense. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, my grandma used to say one thing, man, use common damn sense. And it's like, that's lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you should, come up with your own decision. Like, sometimes you can look at TV like, nah, man, that's nonsense. That's on any media. I'm saying I could look at MSNBC, be like, yo, man, they show spinning this to the left a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can go to Fox News, be like, man, they spinning this to the right. You know what I'm saying? But there's a medium which is called common sense. Make your own decisions on it. And in this situation, no, they didn't rig the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Just because Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce. Don't make no sense to even think like that. That's a crazy conspiracy theory.
Right. What is the word for that? It's called critical thinking.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we are suppressing. People don't critical think. You take information and things that you know and research that, and you come to a conclusion. Well, people don't do that anymore. They just follow whatever somebody says, and here we are, because they said it, so it's true. Because I believe in this person, so it's true. But instead of fact checking that information, it says, though, research shows that once an individual feels personally connected to information, that ideology and values influence how that information is processed. And that's what's becoming the problem, because I love this person so much. Trump can do no wrong. So anything he says has to be true and factual, even though you may have seen information that contradicts that. It's really concerning. Again, that's the loss of critical thinking.
Yeah, it is definitely a concern, and it's something that, I mean, it's weird how we look at the media out there, right wing, left wing, whatever, and some of the things that they say and do seems like I said in the question, I don't know what they're not willing to say, what they're not willing to do at this point, because the lies are getting out of control.
Well, yeah, it's election season now, so they're gonna ramp it up now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once again, man, just let's stick to the facts, let's stick to the policies, and let's see what we can do to help people out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And not hand people over power they're not gonna do anything with, but make themselves better. You stop doing that.
Definitely. So one of the things that we want to touch on real quick is my bad. So one of the things that we want to touch on next is the craziness that's happening with the evangelicals, because they seem almost as backwards as the conservative media. So evangelical Christianity emphasizes the importance of living a life according to the teachings of the Bible. Now that evangelicals are backing Trump, many have suggested that evangelical Christianity is losing credibility. So, Walanda, are evangelicals losing their religion and abandoning their principles for Trump?
Okay, well, let me first define what evangelical is, because I was a little confused by everything that's happening. So I had to go look it up. It says Christians who emphasize the spreading the message of salvation through faith in Jesus Christ. This form is often associated with a conservative approach, of course, to theology and social issues. And then I went and looked up, so what is their values? So when I talk about a Christian, what are they looking towards, or what messages are they trying to spread? Christian values include principles such as love, compassion, forgiveness, humility, honesty, and justice. They use the teachings of Jesus Christ as a moral and ethical behavior, emphasizing virtues. Now, with those definitions, I'm sorry, I don't see Trump in the New Testament whatsoever. I can rant and rant over and over and over again about things that Trump has done, and these words that we say: humility, honesty, justice, moral and ethical behavior.
Nah,
How do you?
he missed on all of them.
Right. You know, like I'm like, again, let's critically think and just say, does he align himself with Jesus' teachings? And you don't really have to be a Christian per se to know good versus bad or wrong versus right, and some of the things that we have experienced with Trump. So in that, I do say that evangelicals, I don't understand it. I don't understand the alignment to Trump. I don't understand the following with him in your own, as far as definition of what a Christian is or what your values and beliefs are to be.
Let me play devil's advocate on that a little bit with the evangelicals. I think with the evangelicals, and like I said, once again, just going out on a limb, I think they look at I don't think they really honestly I think on both ends, when it comes to like evangelical and the Christian part of it, neither party is going to have anybody that kind of falls in the line with that. I think they try to look and see, what does this person represent for us? And I think a lot of them lean to the Republican Party because they were so big on pro-life. You know what I'm saying? And they were big on anti-abortion. And so Trump kind of got the benefit of that, of them supporting him, because he still kind of fell into the lines of that. So I hear exactly what you're saying, but I don't think they think any candidate is going to fit any of those categories. But who's more lined up on what we're trying to look at and what we're trying to do? I mean, but still, even with that saying, also look at what he's also doing outside of what you're trying to do. Like, you can't ignore the fact that, hey, he just got hit with a rape case. Like, you just can't now look at that. He's grabbing people by the vagina and all. They can't miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what they'll do is they'll lock into maybe just like one thing that he's doing that's conservative, which is crazy if you think Trump's conservative, but nonetheless, they'll look at that, and then they'll also ignore all the other immoral things that he's doing. And I don't understand that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do one good thing and 25 bad things and be like that. And he's conservative to the, I always tell people he's conservative when it comes to big business and
spending money, right?
And corporations and things like that. He does fit that mold. But when it comes to like evangelicals, and you're talking about family values and
Moral
all
and
of
ethical
that.
behaviors.
Well, even the
Mhm.
family values campaign, which is really more what the evangelicals and the Christian rights are on. Like, he doesn't fit that mold at all. You know, he doesn't value family. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't fall into that at all. So that's where the confusion comes.
So what I hear you
Mhm.
guys saying is the answer to my question is yes. They are abandoning their principles for
Oh
Trump.
yeah.
Oh, definitely. I think they're confused on their, like you said, like I don't, and they will say that, but Democrats and Republicans both do agree that Republicans embrace religion more so, and Democrats remain more neutral on that aspect. And that's the difference as far as religion in politics in general. So I agree with you on that stance.
Mhm.
But again, if you're talking about moral and ethical behaviors is one of your beliefs and value systems, even though he may supposedly align himself with one, um, as far as, talking about, again, the abortion topic, but as a whole, how do you rationalize that? How do you on one little topic? So, he says he's for life, pro life, in the womb, not outside the womb. We all know how we feel about those things that are
Mhm.
happening. But how do you align yourself with that and ignore all the other behavior?
Yeah.
Again, would Jesus ride with the petty? I don't understand the rape. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense to me as
Well,
a whole, as who he is as a person.
Steve on YouTube said, unfortunately, these folks believe in party over religion.
Agreed.
And that
Mhm.
goes back to the conversation that we've had before, where individuals will vote party over
Mhm.
principle. And at the same time, there are other people in the party that they could have chose from.
Yeah.
So even remember back
Yep.
when Mike Pence was kind of like in the race,
Mhm.
And he
he to your point earlier, like, hey, there's nobody who fits that mold. He at least
Mhm.
pretended to
Yeah,
fit that
yeah,
mold.
yeah,
If he
yeah.
doesn't,
No, you're
I don't
right.
know. I don't know him personally,
Mhm.
but
That
the
was what
thing
he
he was
ran on that.
always God first. I'm a God-fearing man. Like evangelicals should have been like, this is our dude,
Yeah.
because he is at least speaking to the principles that we follow, that Walanda so greatly articulated, like the whole definition of what they are. He's the definition. He fits that mold. But then you go to this dude who doesn't,
Mhm.
because he got you, or he can get you the things that you want from a political stance. So that's why I go back to like that question, and I also will follow up that question about, we already know, yeah, they're abandoning their principles, right? They're going for some guy who has nothing to do with what they are defined as. But
Mhm.
second to that, are the evangelicals themselves starting to not practice what they preach?
Mm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't have any evidence on this, but I mean, you're losing something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Clinton was president. Remember them days when Clinton was president and Clinton got caught with Monica Lewinsky and the world was about to blow up?
Yep.
Like, Trump's like 10 times that. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to talk about that one moral
Right.
issue that's going on. I mean, Clinton did what he did, but he wasn't up in court and stuff like that and getting hit upside the head with 83 million and stuff because he won't be quiet on top
Right.
of a case that he got proven that he raped somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and the evangelicals ignore that. You know what I'm saying? But when Clinton was up, it was just like a
Oh,
big deal,
mhm.
man. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be that's what the party stood for.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you said, right now, you changed your ways. So you lost that. You're losing that credibility at what you're doing. Hey, look I don't like the fact when it's going to come to Christian nationals and all of this, I don't like the fact that they even throw God into it.
Right.
We all
Okay.
know Jesus wasn't a political person in the first place. He
Mhm.
didn't roll like that anyway. He rolled with the people. You know what I'm saying? So to put that first and foremost, when Jesus is on this world, he wasn't walking around politicking, and
Right.
he was helping the poor. He was out there just really giving everything up to
Mhm.
get people going. These are people that are trying to gain more and get more power. This person was giving up power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jesus was giving up power. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So to run on that platform and try to be Christian national, Christ-like, what you're talking about.
Right.
But I'm gonna ignore all these morals and all this stuff so I can gain more power and get the things that I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So to me, it's like when you're saying that it's you're running on a false platform,
Right.
just utilizing that to gain people that are actually probably living their life and being Christian, like to try to gain their vote so you can get that power. You know, I'm talking about the powers behind it actually making up these groups. Like, so yeah, they lost something.
Right.
They lost something.
It's funny at their own thought process. So if the Chiefs win, y'all, then that means God is for Swifty and Swifty is for Biden. So just by your own logic, if you start thinking like critically, okay, so Chiefs won the last game. If they win the Super Bowl, then God brought them. God, is that how we think now? So what I'm noticing about
God don't care about the Super Bowl.
I know, but you know me, but by their own thought process,
God
then
don't care
that's
about
what's gonna happen.
the
I'm just
president
saying.
neither.
Maybe I need to go with
Yeah.
the Chiefs. Never mind, I'm switching my vote. I'm a Chief. But there's a gradual decline in Christianity for that reason. So they're moving more to spirituality because I think people see, make an assumption here, the contradiction of everything. It's very hard for you to preach moral and ethic, and we're all for the people, love everyone, and then we have somebody speaking the opposite to that, and then you have a 6 to 35%, because I think that's what evangelicals are, riding with this individual who stands for nothing that they say they stand for. So it's really difficult for people. So they're moving in a different direction altogether. There's a decline in Christianity,
Well, let's get to the
and
brass.
also
spirituality.
just real quick, we talk about practicing what they preach, right? Like they're saying all these things, saying we want a godly person. Are you being godly? Are you showing love? Are you showing compassion? Tina shared a video of an individual who wrote a book about this topic about evangelicals in America. And this individual happens to have said some things that were criticizing Trump in the past. And his father passed away, and his father was a pastor of a church, right? Evangelicals, all of them. He went to his father's funeral, and people at the funeral, took that as an opportunity to bash him verbally about his stance politically, or the things that he said about Trump. And they called him a traitor to their religion, this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, that's not practicing love. That's not practicing compassion. That's not turning the other cheek. That's not, coming from curious to understand another point of view and trying to, help this person understand whatever their point of view, right or wrong, right? They are not practicing what they preach anymore. When we see these rallies, half the people, and I don't know the numbers on this, right? I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm pretty sure some of the people who attacked on January 6th probably call themselves evangelicals.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And Christians.
These are Christians, and these are not the behaviors of someone who is practicing what they preach. So I don't think that evangelicals are practicing what they preach anymore. And as evidence of that, I think that what they're seeing is a shift, to your point, of numbers decreasing, secularism growing in America, and them hearing all of these secular points and conversations and starting to abandon their own values, because they don't fit anymore.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not a theologist, and I've been to a couple of Sunday school classes, and grandma used to maybe go to vacation Bible school, back in the 70s. That was a long time ago. But I do remember that I think Jesus said something about don't judge, right? And Donald Trump's the biggest judging person I know in the world. He sits up there and talks about people all day long.
All the time.
So it's hard for me to and like I said, it's hard for me to you come an evangelical, white Christian nationalist, or whatever they want to call themselves. You come from a Christian platform. And the first thing about Christianity is don't judge. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So to back my man up, you're abandoning your own principles, but for what? The only thing I can see is because of power, greed, and wealth. That's it.
Well, that's not very godly.
Yeah, it's not. And Steve on YouTube just said that the Bible speaks on helping the poor. I don't see Trump helping with any of that.
Nah.
And what's sad is most evangelical states, I looked up like where they reside in the population, they're all Southern. It's Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, East Texas, more so, West Virginia, Mississippi, North Carolina. What do they all have in common? That's what's so concerning to me is a lot of your poor reside in these states. So I don't understand.
Well, what's concerning to me is that y'all ain't click that like button. What I need y'all to do is click on that like button. Make sure that you share this video, like my girl Tina always says. And if you want to see more of these common sense conversations, make sure that you subscribe to Left-Wing Kingz. All right, so evangelicals, what the hell are they? I have no idea. And I say that because I'm like, I don't know. Are they a political group? Are they a religion? Are they something else? What are they?
You got me stuck on that one. I don't like what makes you evangelical? Like, I mean, somewhere these people having meetings. I don't know.
Well, by definition, it's a religion. But then you see how they act in the political arena.
I never hear about them until it's a conversation about politics.
Yeah.
Because religion is now being, I don't want to say it wasn't before, but you hear more about religion in political conversations. And that leads to, I guess, the evangelicals.
The first time I started hearing about them was when Bush started running. And,
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they kind of came out. And I don't like where they having all these evangelical meetings, rallies or whatever. I know I ain't getting no invite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But yeah, it's you know, like I said, once again, to me, it's smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know, anybody can sit up here and a lot of con men do it. They can come on the God approach, the religious approach, and they can start talking that because people automatically put you in a situation. Okay, well, this person is walking this walk. It's a certain way they walk in life.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people can do that, and you know, the Bible got a word for it. It's called false prophets. They can come out and they can talk like they're walking that life, but in the day they got a hidden agenda, and it's starting to look like these evangelicals and a lot of people just got hidden agendas. You know what I'm saying? Like it like you said, it's about helping the poor. Okay, let's be real. Who's the number one people that want to turn away immigrants? Evangelicals and the Republican Party. Those are poor people, a lot of them, and they it's not like they're going for the people who aren't poor. Like the people who aren't poor, they can get into the country and be immigrants. They're okay with that. But it's the poor people that are needing help that they're having issues with, and they're showing on TV, and they're making a mockery of when it comes to the immigration problem. Well, you the evangelicals. Jesus helped poor people. He's with the poor people.
So open your arms up.
What are you talking about?
Right.
There you go.
Well, Pew research shows too that 3/4 believe that churches should not come out in favor of candidates in general. And you got to think again, we're talking about the power to influence. That's why people in schools, we can't talk our political views. I can't talk to kids. You know why? Because kids going to follow me. Kids love me. They believe what I say. And the same thing with your pastor. I think what happens is they listen to the pastor. Like you said, could may possibly be a false prophet leading a life. I'm trying to get to heaven. Whatever you say, pastor, that's how I'm riding, because I want my salvation in the end. So a lot of times I'm assuming they believe that whatever, you know, their clergyman or their pastor is saying, then this is truth. This is fact. So this is what I have to align myself with to make sure that I get my salvation in the end.
Yeah, and I think that we have a problem. Yeah, that ain't the way. I think we got a problem with categorizing everything. Like, if you look at the Republicans, even the Democrats, you got, you know, black voters, you got
liberals,
you got all kind of stuff. You look at you got moderates. You look at Republicans, you got Tea Party, you got evangelicals, you got and half of them are all mixed in. They're both, you know, you got MAGA, you got all of these categories and names and stuff, and it has just become, okay, look, do you believe in God? I'm pretty sure there's people that are Democrats and Republicans that believe in God and believe in a difference between what we as Americans deem to be right and wrong. Okay, we all have those beliefs. We all have some I guess consistency there in those beliefs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why they got to be a group called evangelical? What? I don't even understand. It's just a way to just try to say, hey, here's another group of people that we got on our side.
Yeah, we had a name for that. That's called gangs in the hood. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what
we all like each other. We wear the same colors. We a gang, and we do the same thing over there. That's called gangs, and that's just a high level a way of being in the game, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I mean, and that's how they run their politics, man. Like
Yeah.
you roll the way we roll it,
Yeah.
not like every, it's funny that you say that because every political party's got the party within the party that's
Yeah,
holding up
right.
stuff. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Like every time you have an argument, like the Democrats ain't getting along because these Democrats, which are the moderates, the
Yeah.
conservative Democrats, don't. And over here, the MAGA Republicans don't want to do this, and it's like George Washington, they didn't write that up. You know what I'm saying? They had no MAGA Republicans and all that. Ben Franklin wasn't here pinning that up. You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, people fall on the Constitution and they doing the right thing, and then they try to, and believe it or not, the Constitution's based, similar, the norms of law. All law is kind of based off of the law of the Bible. But at the end of the day, people ain't trying to use that. They're just using that for their own power. You know what I'm saying? And what they can get out of it.
Now you say laws are based on, the Bible, right? And a lot of them are, but we as Americans have talked a lot about separation of church and state. So should religion even have a place in politics?
It's not supposed to in this country. You know what I'm saying? But obviously it does. I mean, well, back in the old country, in England, the church had a political platform in government. You know what I'm saying? Like there were a lot of decision makers, and that's what they mean by they say separation of church and state. You don't have no high priest up there in Washington that's sitting along with the president making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? But we've slipped it in our two-party system politics by either people using that as a platform, or like you said, setting up their own individual groups within a political party and working it that way.
Yeah, well, they said about 37% people believe churches have too much influence. So if we're talking about separation of church and state, we're reaching that numerical value where it's like they really have a say in what is happening politically, and that could be dangerous again, because we have all different kind of religions here, guys. It's not just Christianity that people follow, and people have to remember that as well.
And that's why separation of church and state is important, because of that. Because we are supposed to be a diverse country with multiple religions. We're supposed to be accepting of one another. We have Jewish people, we have Sikhs, we have Islam, we got all the, but we focusing on evangelicals and what they want.
Right.
No one else, no other religious group gets any love. And that's why this separation of church and state is important. And that's why when I say, like, okay, should politics even have a place in religion? It shouldn't.
No. It
should be something that, because there's too many people with different religions in our country. It shouldn't even be part of the conversation.
Agree.
But
should be very neutral as much as possible. Because we all, again, know good, bad. We can say that in right and wrong without even using religion. You know what I mean? Like, as far as making some of these decisions. So I agree.
Yeah.
That's a no.
Well, two people that ain't agreeing, Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. Things are getting a little too spicy for the pepper, and the bars are blazing between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. From Hot Girl Summer to Hiss and Bigfoot, the relationship between these rap queens is perpetuating the stigma that Black women love to hate one another. Walanda, why can't Black women just get along?
First of all, I love my Black queens, so I cannot relate to this conversation whatsoever. So how I feel about it. And just to let you know, I did my research
That's your
on
wife
it.
right there.
That is. I love my queens. Come on. And I like Nicki Minaj.
We're going to leave it right there.
That's why I ain't saying that.
That's why I'm looking at you.
I didn't.
What?
I'm not saying nothing.
I love most of my Black queens I love.
Well, most of them.
Most of them. Yeah. There's a reason why if I don't like you, there's something wrong with you.
There you go. All right.
But it said, like, I did research and I was trying to find out like information on how, I don't know how it's been researched about Black women and how we get along with each other. But it said, and it depending, but in most Black professionals, so we're talking about people higher end in their professional, journeys, which I would give Nicki Minaj and Megan an example of, it said they have strong relationships. So we bond over different things that typically we do love one another. So their beef, actually, I had to go back from years and try to see where it even began because I didn't know there was a problem. But it looks like Nicki Minaj has had feuding with quite a few women, even Swiftie. So she seems to be the problem to me. I'm sorry. Something's going on with her. So Remy Ma,
we know
Little Kim, Mariah Carey, Taylor Swift was one of them too. So I want to say Nicki Minaj may need to do some self-reflecting, because it looked like she has a pattern of behavior with women in general, black, white, and different. So it could be just her. But
She's the problem.
She's the problem. I'm just saying. So in 2021, I guess Nicki unfollowed Megan because she did WAP with Cardi B. So she has little things going on. I was like, so I don't want to say this is a woman problem. She unfollowed her. She unfollowed her. Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah.
As big as they are.
As big as they are.
I'm gonna unfollow people.
So I don't want to say it's a black female problem, because I don't believe so. But I do think Nicki needs to look at herself, do some self-reflecting on how she interacts with women, because it seems like she has some issues. So just reading on that. So 2021, she unfollowed her. 2023, Red Ruby sleaze about Megan. So we got the songs on Hiss and Hose. And, I said, what is happening here, ladies? What are we doing? But I want to say diss records, I mean, when males do it, doesn't it just bring notoriety to them and give them some type of
I was gonna say
skill set? I don't know what that's called, but isn't that maybe a thing that women should do as well, so they can get some notoriety and how well they spit their bars?
That was my take on it, is like males do this all the time. And sometimes there's legitimate beefs, but sometimes I think these beefs are just to like keep them popular, keep them relevant. You know what I'm saying? Right. So is this a situation where maybe, hey, it may be made up a little bit so we can just get some momentum behind what we're doing? Because males done that. I think 50 Cent do that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm thinking that that may be the situation. That was kind of my take, but it's like you said, when you look at it, when it comes from the relation of black women, it's not like it's sometimes that black women just be hating on each other. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. So that's kind of a take on it also.
So
yeah, I was like, yeah,
okay. So you brought up and both of you brought up well, men do this. So why is it different? Why do we look at it different when men do it, like LL and Cannabis, or 50 and Ja Rule? Why do we look at it differently when it's men doing it than women?
I think they've just been doing it longer. And I think that with us, like back in the day, like when BDP and Juice Crew and they all started, I think those were real beefs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was when hip hop was young. You know what I'm saying? I think as the industry grew, it became more tactical. Like, some guys, they'll have beefs, but sometimes those beefs are with timing. Hey, I got an album coming out, I'm gonna have a beef with so-and-so. So it brought relevance to what they're doing. Not all the time, but a lot of times I think it became part of what hip hop is. But it's just a simple fact that men been doing it longer. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're just not used to women coming out. I mean, with Queen Latifah and all them, you never heard like Queen Latifah was beefing with anybody or nothing like that.
Right.
Ladies first and all that.
Yes.
It was all empowerment. You know what I'm saying? But now it's coming to where we're like having beefs. We're not used to it from the woman's side. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, males been doing it forever. So we're just used to that.
Definitely agree. I will say that though, attractive women, ambitious women, women who, as they go up the ladder, for some reason, it filters some type of insecurity in other women. Women, I don't want to say that women don't like other women, but women get very jealous. Some women catty. Some women don't have good self-esteem. So that ain't got no problem. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. I am more on the male spectrum of that. And I'm like, love my queens. Yay to all of us. Let's again, empowering. But there are some women who, with their own personal insecurities that come out. Now, on that other end that you were talking about, just women weren't normally doing diss tracks. I don't normally hear that. And like I said, men's been doing it for a long time. So maybe it's just new to us. And so that's why it's such a,
well, there's one I remember, MC Light. Somebody did a diss track. I can't remember her name now, but that's how hard that was. She dissed MC Light, and MC Light put out of the industry. Like I'm saying, I can't remember. Do you remember her name? The one she did? But it was years ago, and that's the only one. But I mean, that was like MC Light. And MC Light was like one of the relevant female MCs back then, and it wasn't too many out there. Definitely popular.
Well, you talk about like the real Roxanne and Roxanne Shante. They had a beef. They went at each other, but that was all tactical to your first point. And one of the things that like why I think is different, like male versus like these females today, like I think is first of all the popularity of these females way more than it was for our rap guys back in our day. Like our rap guys, Kumo D, LL beefing, that was a black community thing. Nobody outside of the black community even knew that was happening. But Nicki Minaj and Megan, You got Megan on Planet Fitness commercials and
Yeah.
everything. Like they all across the board pop stars, and everybody knows who they are. So that's one thing to me. Like just who they are, it becomes bigger than life. Secondly, Nicki Minaj can't keep her damn mouth shut. She all over social media, saying every feeling she got. Every feeling she got is coming on X or IG, whatever. She hitting them airwaves hard. So men back in our day didn't have that vehicle.
Didn't have no social media
to get out there and say all of this stuff. So those are the things contributing to it. It's not really, to me, a man versus a woman thing. I think it's a pop star, and now the social media influences is helping to kind of blow this up into something really big. And they're getting real personal.
Yeah.
Like they get real personal with they tracks and what they saying.
Like when she said, these hoes don't be mad at Megan, these hoes mad at Megan's law. That hit a nerve because, again, Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, had attempted rape case in 1995. So he's been to jail. Like he's a registered sex offender. So I'm like, she is pulling out some personal information. They talk about people's moms. You know what I mean? Like I said, men don't do that. But I will say this. We all know as women, like when we were mad at each other in high school and stuff, these girls are dead to us today. I am 40-some years old. And some girls are dead to me, like dead.
But
Don't
she ain't got no problem with black females.
Hey,
Hey, start naming names.
Nah, I ain't dropping names. They know
who's dead.
Look,
I
you know
who's
who
dead.
you are. You know who you are.
We're trying to get views. Start naming names.
They know who they are. But okay, but I have grown since then. I believe.
No, you said they dead to you. How you grown?
They still okay, but I've evolved as a.
No, you
a
did.
female.
They dead. You said dead. They can't come back. They dead.
They dead. They died.
You did not evolve from that. You still hold the hate in your heart. What are we talking about? But I evolved. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. You're in the same place you was when you were 16.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm dead.
No, I'm getting picked on. I don't like y'all. They know what I just said they dead now, but I don't be killing people now.
Oh,
see, they was dead.
Okay, so your point was
my point. I forgot. But my point was they've been getting really personal, So I think I do agree there that something they might generally just not like each other, but I don't think it's a black on black female thing. Some people just don't like. We ain't for everybody. Okay. And sometimes we just don't like each other. And that's fine to say that. All men don't get along either. They deal with it differently, though. These women come out here with words,
so
they want to.
Is all this like that's going on right now a good thing or a bad thing for hip hop and female artists?
Any type of negativity to me is just negative, because it looks like, again, it feeds into that stereotype. Black women, we don't get along, which is not true because research shows that actually we do. But just the negativity there that we can't get along with each other, that we can't build each other up, that we stay in this, Black women are angry. We always mad. Kind of just feeds into those stereotypical, types about women in general. So to me, it's negative, but it's obviously bringing them some attention. So people are buying their records, hissing, what is it, Bigfoot? I said, they made me want to go look. I said, let me hear this song.
Yeah, I mean,
let me go here.
They selling records.
They're selling records. Ththey get money.
That's the technical part about it.
There you go. Get your money.
You know what I'm saying?
Get your money.
Hey, I got a question, man. Like, what's up with Megan Thee Stallion have to move on Mama's grave or something like that? What is going on with that, man? Is it
that I didn't understand, but she did say something about
like that's a hell of a beef, nigga. You got to go move your mama's grave. Yeah. I don't think they had nothing to do with it.
That part I did not research. I did do the research on her Nicki Minaj's husband and the Megan's Law thing. That's serious. Like, this
that's
dude
personal.
Yeah, he went to jail for 4 years for attempted rape. Then this fool, the problem also, like, of course, if you're a sex offender, you have to register as a sex offender, and that's Megan's Law. So he gets out of jail and he doesn't register. So then he gets put on probation for not registering. I'm like, you causing all these old trouble for yourself, and it's all public information, man. So I mean, here's my thing to Nicki, Megan, whoever, anybody out there, if you got skeletons in your closet, don't go at nobody.
Nah,
right?
don't go at nobody.
Because they're gonna find out, and they're gonna throw them skeletons right out on your front lawn. So that's what
why
happened.
don't you make a song about it? You can make a twist. I mean, shoot, you put it out there. What was that one diss? What was it on the movie with Eminem? And he dissed himself. You know what I'm saying? Like 8 Mile. Thank you. Like, put it out there if you worried about something. Because Nicki seems like she's kind of have some insecurities. put it out there yourself. Then nobody can talk about you. Like, I ain't worried about it.
She gotta have
I'm good.
some insecurities from all the beefs that she's had.
Oh,
she
she has a
takes
lot.
stuff like, wow, like you
Mhm.
gotta have some, especially if you're in the public spotlight. You gotta have the capability to let water go off your back, like water off a
Right.
duck's back, because people gonna be coming at you, regardless of whether they stars or not. I mean, you can't just respond to every little thing. Look, we got a video that just came out, got 12,000 views on it, and people are going ham on us on that video. I ain't responding to one of them comments. Why? Because I've been in this YouTube thing for a minute. I know that they just people out there just running their mouth.
Yeah,
And there's no
yeah.
reason for me to come back at them or take it personally. I know who I am. And
Right.
if Nicki was, like you said,
Strong enough.
confident in herself, if she knows who she is, she wouldn't be worried about what anybody says about her.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely something there because she be jumping on any little thing that somebody say,
Mhm.
like, but then maybe that's the way she looks at keeping things going.
Keep it
you know what I'm saying?
relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping people, my name's in your mouth. You know what I mean? So I'm relevant
can
to you, and that's how I
Pick
get
and
money.
choose. Even if I understand what you're saying, that's a good way to
Yeah.
stay relevant, to stay in the
Mhm.
spotlight. But you got to pick and choose, because
Yeah,
she
yeah.
coming at every little thing that said about you. You can't like comment back to it. It's crazy.
Right. And Megan Thee Stallion is a stallion, and I would be quiet, Cardi. If I was Cardi,
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah, Cardi.
She,
Oh, you talking
Megan
about-
from the
Megan got some horse
streets, like
thighs.
she's like stupid. Megan's, I know, but Megan, I wouldn't play with Megan. I'll just be quiet. And
Mhm.
Megan's the calmer one. If you notice, she ain't coming at Cardi the way Cardi's coming at Megan. So those quiet ones, you got to be careful with. Just
Mhm.
saying. So that's just
So-
my take.
After all the shots that these ladies have taken at each other, what will it take for them to bury the hatchet and go back to being friends?
They're not. They're not.
They need
It's
to
been
do, they
way
need
too
to do a
personal.
collab record, right? They're gonna do a collab record and shit.
I think it's over. I think once she put that information out about her, that's not her boyfriend. Once again, we get real personal. I've been in relationships, and you ain't gonna talk about my boyfriend. You ain't gonna talk about him, though. You ain't gonna talk about my husband. It's just a totally different. I don't know. I think that got way too personal, and then your mom's too. So I think they went too deep. I think they cut way too deep, and I think it's either gonna just go away per se, but I don't think they're gonna be on each other's records. I think they're done. Then their relationship is not gonna exist.
And next week they're gonna drop a collab, right? Then we're gonna know it's all tactical. And
Well,
shit.
then we will know. Like, yeah, right. But if they don't, it's done. It got a little too personal, probably for both of them.
they're gonna remake That's What Friends Is For and shit.
We Are the World.
Let me see y'all hold hands, bump booties, bump
booties. So, hey, at the end of the day, man, I wish the best for both of them. I hope that they can kind of bury the hatchet in some kind of way. I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I don't think they will, but it would be great if they could. But before we cut out of here, I do want to give Ace a minute to give a quick little spiel on some things that have been happening in our country today.
Yeah. Thanks for that, man. But yeah, no, I hope you're paying attention to what's going on into this world, paying attention to things that are happening overseas, and how America's kind of getting baited into a conflict with Iran, with a lot of Iran-backed groups attacking American soldiers. Unfortunately, we lost 3 lives this week on the attack on Tower 22 in Jordan, where we lost Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Breonna Moffett, and Specialist Kennedy Sanders. 3 of the first casualties of this, 3 Americans, 3 patriots that died to the hands of the enemy. Reason I say that is they were all young, all of them in Georgia. Just so happened they were black. That has nothing to do with it. They were Americans, and that's basically what we want to point out. But they lost their life, and there's something might escalate here before you know it. In that same situation, Biden responded by attacking 85 targets in Iraq and in Syria in retaliation to them attacking us. I guess why I want to bring that to attention, because a lot of us have children that are this age that are going to be affected by this, and who knows what may happen if this thing blows up and it gets into a bigger thing. But let's reflect on that. Let's take a moment of silence to honor the people who fell, and hopefully this thing doesn't get out of hand. All right, y'all.
Thank you for watching Left-Wing Kingz. We'll see you guys next week.